From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, my name is Kelsey Orr.
And I'm James Tauble. Thank you for joining us. In 2010, disaster struck the island nation of Haiti. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake killed 200,000 and left close to 1 million people homeless. For me, this story is personal. My family and I travel to Haiti every year to do volunteer work. We were lucky not to be in Haiti when the earthquake hit, but many friends were there. I spoke with one family that survived a very close call with death.
Just joining us, we're following the breaking news out of Haiti. The largest, most powerful earthquake in the region's history has crippled the country, measuring 7.0.
It's being called a catastrophe of major proportions.
Now in Haiti, hit today by a powerful earthquake.
People around the world have been praying for more survivors tonight.
In 2010, Haiti was struck by a 7.0 magnitude earthquake, which ransacked the country and killed an estimated 230,000 people. The Williams family had been living in Haiti for a number of years. Frank was the head of the World Vision's headquarters in the country's capital of Port-au-Prince. While their son Trevor was on the other side of town, 4 of the 5 found themselves in the epicenter of the earthquake.
We had just both come from about 5 years living in California, so we had earthquake training and even earthquake drills in California. Every 6 months you have them. And so I immediately knew about 2 seconds in, this is an earthquake. And about 10, 12 seconds in, you realize you may not make it. And then it's, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy on my family, and it just doesn't look good.
At the time of the earthquake, the 3 of us girls were together. I had just hugged them because they had just come in the door, so I was still holding on to them. To me, it sounded like icebergs smashing against each other and grinding that just kept going, like it seemed like forever. A woman who lived on the top floor, her curtains were laying beside me because all of the concrete was just falling and hitting us.
And then it stopped. I'm the leader of the office, so people are, expecting me to engage, and so I do. And then a person, literally, this is 2 minutes out after getting out of the door, the person says, "Where was in the U.S. has CNN on the phone. Are you willing to talk to them?" And I said, "Yeah, okay."
This is CNN Breaking News.
Frank Williams is joining us on the phone right now. He's from World Vision Haiti. He's in Port-au-Prince. Mr. Williams, describe what you're seeing and hearing.
Well, thank you. It's pretty disconcerting situation. You've got pretty much people screaming kind of all around.
So I was on national news at that moment with Wolf Blitzer of CNN, and he just starts asking me all these questions. Of course, I don't have a lot of answers.
We have some aftershocks that we've experienced about 10, 15 minutes after the original quake, and we have an unconfirmed report that the National Palace is severely damaged, as well as some other government building structures.
6 or 7 minutes into this phone call, I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I have a family. I've got to determine my own circumstances. The building is standing, so I assumed that most buildings were standing. They put me on hold, like for a commercial break, and I just hung up. And I said, sorry, I've got to go attend to my own.
While Frank's situation seemed to be under control, June, Dawn, and Priya's situation was completely different.
As soon as it stopped, I just said, go, 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 because it's gonna, happen again. Our apartment building was on a mountainside, and kind of built into it, I just said, jump off the retainer wall of the mountain, it was about 2 stories down into a pine forest. I didn't know that Priya, at age 6, was temporarily blinded for a couple of days from all the shards of concrete in her eyes.
At that point, I had to force my eyes open because I knew that I needed to go fast and we needed to get out of there. So I couldn't, nothing was clear, of course, but I could see the light from the door through all the dust.
At that point, she couldn't see a thing. She didn't tell me. I threw her down into the pine forest and then jumped, and so did Dawn. And then I said, we have to get up, but we had no energy left.
I finally got to the apartment complex, and as June said, we lived on the bottom floor. There were 4 or 5 people standing there, and they were just staring at the structure. And then they saw me, and their faces were just completely astonished. And I thought, okay, maybe my life is going to change right now in ways I have never anticipated.
While June's legs were broken and Priya blinded, June, Dawn, and Priya climbed a tree to take the high ground. They were rescued by the Canadian ambassador, and they spent the night in his home. While Frank reunited with Trevor, they spent the evening praying and planning for the next day.
And so we just spent the night planning. Tried to get some rest, but wasn't realistic because I realized the next day might be the hardest day of my life ever. And Trevor, as a firefighter in training, was making a list of all the types of things that he needed to do the things, including the body bags that he needed to do what he was, he knew he was there to do this kind of work. So we get to the World Vision office early. I go around and I ask people, and they find 1 shovel. And I said, Trevor, okay, we're gonna walk over there and start digging. Is right as Trevor and I are walking out of the World Vision compound, the door, the gate is open, and we're walking out. I think it was June and Dawn were there, and everything. For a minute I couldn't, is this a vision or something? And then Priya comes around, someone's carrying her, and we just cried and cried. Yeah. I went from being I would say, the kind of the poorest guy on the planet to being the richest guy on the planet in 30 seconds.
An old saying says, our most basic instinct is not for survival, but for family. This is what the Williams family did for each other as they survived one of the most tragic natural disasters in the world's history. Reporting for The Pulse, this is James Tauble.
So James, what makes you and your family want to go to Haiti every single year?
Well, when the Williams family survived the earthquake, they came back to Connecticut. We met them. They took us to Haiti for the first time, and ever since then we've been going.
Very nice. When we return, how the Sacred Heart community came together in support of social justice.
Plus, the women's bowling team has their eyes on the Northeast Conference Championship. Stay with us.
We actually, a few weeks ago, created a sensory clinic, and that was a lot of fun. So we did a lot of swinging, a lot of slides, and we had that open space that we needed.
We have fantastic new facilities in the Center for Healthcare Education. We have simulation mannequins that are dedicated solely for the purpose of the AT program, where our students will be able to gain simulation experience when they can't receive it in a hands-on clinical setting. And so we're able to present our students with numerous and rare and unusual cases to better educate them and prepare them for their careers as athletic trainers.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Last month, Sacred Heart held its annual Social Justice Week. Many campus clubs and organizations held events to promote peace, diversity, and equality, including La Hispanidad. Here's Jordan Norquist with more on the club's Unity Walk.
On Wednesday, March 28th, during Sacred Heart University's Social Justice Week, La Hispanidad came together with members of the Sacred Heart community for a unity walk around campus.
So when we started Social Justice Week, we really wanted it to be all about getting the students and our campus involved and talking about more of these social topics. We were really connected with the idea of inclusiveness and bringing us together. It's not something that relates to just one person. It's not about just race and culture, which is what people think diversity is. It really is about everyone. All of us have something that we're bringing here. We wanted everyone to feel empowered and be excited and say, wow, this is who we are, this is our campus, and we should be proud and excited to be here and be proud to be the people we are.
T-shirts were provided for everyone, with markers to write what they were walking for. They were also encouraged to add their name to the banner and pick ribbons to tie onto a lattice. Each colored ribbon represented a different value of diversity. La Hispanidad also welcomed a keynote speaker, Rabbi Marcello Cormis, who works to inspire people of all ages to bring their faiths together, work towards social justice, and become modern-day prophets.
We think differently, we look differently, we act differently, and we feel differently. And that is the blessing of being human. It is my hope that love, peace, and understanding will defeat hatred, violence, and bigotry in our society and in our world.
Through the Unity Walk, La Hispanidad and members of the Social Justice Week Council want everyone to know that with some hard work and determination, they can make a change, not just on campus, but in the world.
We can hide behind our screens, we can hide behind our words, but it's not until we all join together and make that force to believe in what we want to make happen that we'll start making that change. And as we start going into society and becoming adults and becoming people that are going to be in the everyday part of society, we should still have that sort of mentality and mindset of, okay, let's do this, we can change it. It's about bringing that excitement, empowerment, and drive to want to do something more.
This is not a time to remain silent. This is a time to speak up and take action. Thank you.
For The Pulse, this has been Jordan Norcus in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Last year, the Sacred Heart women's bowling team fell short of a Northeast Conference championship after winning in 2016. This year, they are looking to reclaim that title. Here is Amanda Nardiello with more.
We are live from Howell Lanes off the Jersey Shore, and this is the Northeast Conference Women's Bowling Tournament on NEC Front Row. Today it's the championship finals with the number 4 St. Francis Red Flash taking on the number 1 Sacred Heart Pioneers.
This year, the Sacred Heart University women's bowling team has been in tough competition since October. The hope for the Pioneers to win the Northeast Conference Championship. In 2016, Sacred Heart captured the title at Howell Lanes in New Jersey against NEC rival Long Island University. Last year, the Pioneers fell short to another NEC rival, Fairleigh Dickinson University. The Pioneers have fought hard to become 2-time NEC regular season champions and hope to make it a three-peat. At the first NEC meet of the season, Sacred Heart was tied for first with a record of 4-2 with LIU and St. Francis University. The Pioneers kept their fire at the second NEC meet when they were first with the 13-5 record. That made them the regular season champions for the third time in a row.
It felt amazing showing to everybody that we are capable and how good our team is. When we work together, we have the ability to do anything. That's amazing, and we just showed them that we are capable of doing it 3 times in a row.
But this year, the NEC championships are more important than ever.
The format this year changed to mimic the change at the national championships. We used our 3 rather long formats to comprise a match, so the matches were 2 to 3 hours long instead of an hour. But it ensured that the team that was playing well had a chance to win the match if they got behind a little bit or had a slow start, and that the team that was bowling the best won the day.
At the 2018 NEC Championships, 6 teams competed for the title. Only 2 were left standing on Sunday, St. Francis University and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart had to beat St. Francis twice in a new mega match format, consisting of 2 Baker matches and 1 traditional game. In the first mega match, Sacred Heart and St. Francis tied with the first 2 formats 1-1. It all came down to the last Baker match, where Heart fell 3-1. The Pioneers made a huge comeback and won the next 4 games to force a winner-take-all Baker match.
When we were down 3-1, we needed to fight. We knew it was life or death situation, knowing that if they won 1 more, they would automatically win NEC champs. But we came together as a team, we fought, we came back to win 4-3, which is incredible. With all the adrenaline, our team was so capable of doing it, and we did.
The Pioneers started strong with a 3-1 lead against the Red Flash. Hart only needed one more win to capture the title, but SFU fired back, winning the next 4 games. Even though the Pioneers came in second, the championship matches were nothing short of a fight.
Going into the second Baker match, we had a little bit more confidence knowing that it wasn't exactly life or death because it was a clean slate, but fighting till the finish was very important, and that's exactly what we did.
Sacred Heart ended their run with a second-place finish, but they took home other hardware as well. Sophomore Tori Boughton was a member of the second all-tournament team. Junior Dominique Newton and senior Amanda Nardiello were both members of the first all-tournament team. Head coach Becky Kregling was nominated Coach of the Year for the 3rd consecutive year. The NEC Championships did conclude the Pioneers' NCAA run for the national championship, but they are not finished yet. Sacred Heart qualified first at the Stratford Sectional for the United States Bowling Congress Intercollegiate Team Championships. The Pioneers will compete for the title in Lincoln, Nebraska from April 19th to the 21st. From Fairfield, Connecticut, Amanda Nardiello, The Pulse.
You know, I really don't think the school's giving the women's bowling team enough credit because our own Amanda Nardiello was the conference player of the year last year. She was first team all-conference this year, and then she was also a All-American this year.
Wow, congratulations to Amanda and the whole women's bowling team.
When we return, Pi Kappa Phi takes on the Polar Plunge.
Plus, a closer look at the parking situation on campus. What is the university doing to solve this ongoing problem? Stay tuned.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The last few years have been a time of growth and expansion here at Sacred Heart, but this has not come without its share of growing pains. Finding parking has become a struggle for many students on campus, and I can say that for everybody here, we have experienced this struggle. What is the campus and what is the university doing to solve this issue? Here is Michael Latito with more.
I traveled to Sacred Heart University, home of the new and improved campus buildings. Some of these new buildings consist of the remodeled Jewish Center, now known as Pierre Toussaint Hall, while Bergoglio Residency Hall also was just constructed. Recent construction completed on campus include the WSHU building as well as JP's Diner, with a layout for upcoming construction on the new Bobby Valentine Athletic and Recreation Center. While new buildings have created more classrooms and more availability for student housing, the Sacred Heart community faces the issue of parking. I went out into the parking lot of Sacred Heart University's Frank and Marissa Martiri Business and Communication Center to speak with students about their experience of parking on campus.
I was waiting to go to class because I had a paper to hand in, and I couldn't go because obviously there's no spots to park my car. I parked it illegally according to the security here, and I got in trouble and had to move it.
How about let me know why there's 6 spots blocked off?
I don't enjoy it at all. I had to spend extra money on a parking pass. Now there's cones and prime spots. I have class in 2 minutes. I'm not going to be able to get there.
I also got the chance to speak with professor and advisor Gregory Golda on the issue.
Parking is always relative in terms of which is worse at one school to the next. I mean, I went to Penn State and I had to get a parking permit to park 4 miles away to get a bus onto campus. So, you know, parking is always tight no matter where you are. And typically, the earlier you get here, the better. It's very tough to kind of queue up in lines, but I'm used to that from my undergrad as well. So you kind of follow people and shadow them to get to their spot.
I also met with Executive Director of Public Safety and Emergency Management, Paul Healy, to discuss the issues of Sacred Heart parking.
Parking at times can be problematic. It just depends on the academic schedule. So we do whatever we can to try and adjust with the registrar's office the parking so that we, on an ongoing basis, are making a review based on, you know, the number of people and students that are assigned to a specific class. The university is actively looking at additional parking. The south parking lot is a location where the university has done a couple of different iterations of parking garages. Issue with parking at times is everybody wants to come and they want to find a parking space exactly next to the building, right next to the door, you know, where they want to go in, and it usually isn't going to work out for you. So you want to plan ahead, but we're working to make sure that, you know, the students, you know, can get on campus, get to their classes, and it's an ongoing, evolving process. If anybody does have an issue, you outreach to the parking administrator's office, which is right next to Public Safety Dispatch, and they will find a very accommodating and easygoing, you know, staff to work with them.
Future growth plans will eventually lead to more students on Sacred Heart University's campus. With more students comes more vehicles, and with more vehicles comes the need for more available parking spots. Reporting from The Pulse, I'm Michael Otito, Fairfield, Connecticut.
The Brothers of Pi Kappa Phi recently braved some cold temperatures for a great cause. Here's Ryan Cosner and PJ Sioka with more on the fraternity's polar plunge.
Here at the local Seaside Park Beach in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the second annual Pi Kappa Phi Polar Plunge event took place. The purpose of this event is to raise money for the fraternity's philanthropy, the Ability Experience, where the gentlemen of Pi Kappa Phi assist in building play units for severely handicapped children.
So the Ability Experience is the national philanthropy of Pi Kappa Phi, and they're primarily concerned with disabled individuals, and long ago was known as Push America, which stood for Play Units for the Severely Handicapped. And what we do is, and what the national organization itself does, is set up play units for severely handicapped individuals across the country, as well as set up summer camps for disabled individuals where they have an opportunity to excel and do all things that normal able-bodied human beings would be able to do. And the biggest purpose of the Ability Experience is to raise awareness that those with disabilities can do everything that people with normal abilities can do. So the Polar Plunge that took place on March 25th of 2018, that event really just is one small step in trying to raise awareness and build a community and infrastructure for people with disabilities. And while on a small scale level it may not mean much or may not mean much in the whole scheme of America, it means a lot in the community of Bridgeport, and the money we raised, which we raised about $3,000, which will go towards building the camps for the summers and doing everything that we try to do at the Ability Experience.
The members of Pi Kappa Phi lined up to take the plunge head-on despite the cold weather and even colder water. It's evident that this isn't an activity they would choose to do every day, but they did so anyway because of the great cause this event stands for.
Actually doing the Polar Plunge, it's a little scary, but it's fun. It's for a good cause. I mean, you're in the middle of winter running into cold water at the beach. It's definitely a shock. It's not all fun, but you come out of the water, you're there with your brothers, people come and watch. It feels good, and when at the end of the day, when you look at how much you've raised, you know it's all for a good cause. That little bit of cold is all worth it.
Bearing the shocking experience seemed to be worth it for all the members of the fraternity. They all realized the importance of raising awareness as well as money for this great philanthropy. In the first annual Polar Plunge event, the attendance was great, and this year's second installment was much of the same.
The group did great. The Polar Plunge, we reached half our goal, a little bit more, and Polar Plunge, we almost had perfect attendance, and we had outside organizations and groups come to help raise awareness, and the Polar Plunge was a big part of that. The group's done really well.
With another successful fundraiser event, the Brothers of Pi Kappa Phi look forward to finding even more ways to give back to the Ability Experience. For The Pulse, this has been Ryan Cosner and PJ Sioka, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
You know, I really don't think I could jump in freezing cold water for any cause, so.
Me neither. Good for them.
That's all the time we have for today. I am James Tauble.
And I'm Kelsey Orr. We'll see you next time on The Pulse.